Greetings, Airy peoples, your cult personality here, ToonKritic's name, and TOON's the name of my game. So, for some of you who have watched some of these Roundtable things, in the last Roundtable review, we did Pokemon the first movie. Naturally, we got an uproar of people saying, "Hey, are you guys gonna do the second one?" Well, yeah, we're doing the second one. We're doing Pokemon the movie 2000. Who is doing that?
That's key right there.
Just damn me.
This woman, I swear to God.
I'm sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Keyframe. I look at point A, point B, and everything in between. And welcome to the Roundtable podcast video review of Pokemon the movie 2000.
What
Joining
is
us,
the real name of Pokemon the movie 2000?
Pokemon. Okay, Pokemon 2. Okay, Pokemon the Power of One.
The Power of One. You're right. Yes, do it properly.
Revelation Lugia in Japanese. We're both right.
You're both right. Congratulations.
Look, I'm just gonna go by what's on the poster, and it says 2000. So
joining me.
This is our lovely face of the evening, Mr. ToonKriticY2K. Why don't you say hi, Mr. ToonKriticY2K?
Hi. Joining us also are Sketchy the Changeling.
Sup Swarm, Sketchy here.
ELIYORA. Okay then. Sapphire Heartsong.
Hi, I exist.
And you'll notice that Manga and Kitty are not here. We have swapped them out in their place. My good buddy Calkos.
Hello, everybody. I am super buff in the picture, but not so much in real life, so don't be surprised.
And of course, Keyframe.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Roundtable's Magic. Toon thought that he can just keep me in the land of ponies. Well, he was wrong.
Apparently I was. So, y'all know how these Roundtable things work, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to start with what we liked, followed by what we didn't like. I'm going to kick things off first by saying what I liked about Pokemon 2000. It's a Pokemon movie. It's pretty good.
It has ponies in it.
It has I believe it has a Ponyta or Rapidash, but what I liked about Pokemon movie 2000, I liked the intensity of it. And I know that sounds weird to say, but I liked how intense things got, like, halfway through the movie. It was, like most Pokemon movies, they got to set things up really slow, but by the time they got to, like, the halfway point with the three birds showing up and then Lugia showing up, things got a lot better when Lugia showed up, just saying. But I like how intense this got. The music really helped to do it. It's a step up from the first movie, but not by much. It's like you put your foot on the next step. That's it. Not a leap or a bound. Just it's a small step
not like
up.
Pokemon 3, which is the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, there's no question on that.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I liked. So I'll pass it off to Calkos.
Okay, what I like about it, I mean, okay, the three movies that I'm familiar with is 1 through 3. I haven't seen anything past 3. Now, I'm about to make a few enemies by saying that I think the first movie, as a kid, I loved it because it was Pokemon related, and I was 9 years old. I didn't know any better. But as an adult, I think it's awful by kid and adult standards. I don't like it at all. I think it's disgustingly bad.
You filthy communist!
And there it is.
Thank you so much, Calkos.
Now,
Rotten hell.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, the third movie is fine. There's nothing directly offensive about it or anything like that, but it's not that great either, I think. I'm not entirely certain why. It's just a subjective opinion. But if we're going to talk about objective opinions, I think the second movie is the best of them all, if only because of 2 reasons. One,
You can only pick one. Sorry, we have a rule. We can only pick one thing we liked and disliked.
Okay, 1. No ham-fisted moral. The movie is all about the adventure and nothing but. In the first movie, fighting is wrong. In the third movie, being a kid sucks. And in the second movie, it's all about the adventure. And I like that.
All right. Who do you pass it off to?
Shit, sorry, I had my mic muted. I will pass it off to, because Sketchy was super goddamn nice to me, I'll be nice to him, pass it off to him.
Hey man, appreciate it, fam. So one thing I liked about this movie, I'm glad that I'm doing this. I'm one of the first people to do it because like I always get scared when I'm one of the last, because I don't want anything to get stolen. So the thing I think is a major improvement over the last movie is that people are actually doing things. Looking back on the first movie, there was just a lot of standing around, not a lot of things actually being done, and just a lot of lecturing. And that kind of goes back to the moral thing that Calkos was talking about. And because this is more of an adventure and things need to get done, we see more action, we see more adventure. And because of that, I think that this movie becomes it becomes an experience rather than feeling like I'm being lectured to. And that's the main draw that I get out of this movie and what makes it a major improvement over the first one, as well as one of the best Pokemon movies out there. So as for who I'm going to pass it to, I'm going to pass it to Soul Sister Keyframe.
God damn it, Key!
Raise your dongers.
Anyway. Okay, so Pokemon 2000, Power of One, the Lugia one. Let me just say, Pokemon 3 is one of my favorite. I actually remember that I got Pokemon 2000 and Pokemon 3 on VHS when I was a little kid. It was one of my first few VHS tapes. And with Pokemon 2000, I had the little Lugia coin that came with the VHS.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, memories. I would say my favorite thing about this, if we're going by the trilogy, the only 3 movies that existed before Lucario.
Okay. We're just going to ignore all the others.
There wasn't any other. Shush, Zach. Shh.
All right.
Heroes and Jirachi, though.
Thank you. Someone also agrees with me with the Lucario thing. Anyways.
Yeah, but like my favorite thing about this movie is I think it has some of the best legendary designs that Pokemon's ever made. With Voltrez, Articuno, and
Did you say Voltrez?
I know.
God damn it.
Did you?
No, I said Moltres.
You said Voltrez.
I'm pretty sure you said Voltrez.
Don't lie.
Barry, repeat that over 3 times. Gonna actually make Toon edit something in these. Okay. No, Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos.
There you
There
go.
you go. You get a cookie.
And of course Lugia. But besides the fact that we have those 3 Pokemon that everyone on Pokemon Go seems to argue which team they're on, even though you're just arguing over 3 different birds. I just love their designs. I mean, I always love the Elementals type Pokemon. Like I love the evolutions for that exact reason, especially the first 3 with Flareon, Jolteon, and Espeon. No.
God damn it.
I'm sorry. I'm not. Espeon's my favorite. Espeon's my favorite. Vaporeon. I'm sorry, but no, it's just like their designs are so.
2016.
Moltres and Articuno just look amazing. Zapdos looks like if you stuck a canary in a freaky electrical socket, and that's amazing. Also, just how massive they are. They are, when you think of legendary, you think of them and Lugia, because I mean with Mewtwo and Mew, they're smaller. I mean, Mewtwo has the more intense looking design, but overall compared to, and Entei is cool too, but compared to freaking the legendary birds, they just dominate, and it actually feels like a legitimate threat when you have what is basically monsters, legendary monsters, and it actually feels legendary, which it's that kind of scope that a lot of the legendaries they introduce in future franchises just seem to lack with me, especially since some of the newer games go on a more cute angle.
Right.
And it's just like, that's fine, but oh my goodness, you can't beat something massive. So that's what I like about 2000. I will pass it off to, Sketchy passed it to me, so I gotta pass it to my other member of the Shade Brigade. Ellie.
Yeah.
OG3 represent.
OG3.
OG3. So, this... picking one thing I like about the movie, because this is actually really weird. I still like the movie, but it's only kinda. I'm thinking of more things I didn't like. Let's...
Yeah, song?
Yeah, well, I was trying to avoid the obvious. I guess I can't. The music's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack for the little bits here and there.
Do you like the music more in the Japanese version or in the American version?
Both of them
Ooh.
are really freaking good, though. So I really couldn't choose between them. I like the way the music just kind of makes everything feel, you know? Like the atmosphere that it brings. But I really got nothing else, so I'm just gonna hand it off to Sparkle Lady over there.
Hi! I'm going to be cherry picking for the bottom of the barrel since everybody else took all the other good obvious stuff. I'm going to say there's only one thing I liked in this movie because everybody else took something. And I'm going to say it's the scene where all the Pokemon are running off, and in the water, there's a mother friggin' Ekans. Ekans, be a water type.
You can do it. We believe in you.
That's the Loch
That
Ness
Ekans
monster.
in the water is how we got those. That Ekans in the water is how we got
Seriously though,
Boris
that
and
part in the
Hunty.
movie is like the best part ever for me. That's like the most hilariously believe in the Ekans that believes in you, some kind of crap like that I enjoyed.
It just makes me think of like, no, it's not an elephant or a toy submarine that was the Loch Ness monster picture. It was an Ekans. Just
It was a goddamn Pokemon.
Ekans was born a poison type, but he identifies as a water type.
Oh my god, are we gonna have that?
He's trans type.
He's trans.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
Water type would win.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
Right there from the movie.
Yeah, wouldn't it be amazing if someone was playing Pokemon Go in Scotland and they're by the loch and a Gyarados was inside the loch?
Yes.
Somebody had Munchkin then.
Jeez.
He broke.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I guess, you're the last person. So I guess you now can say one of the things that you disliked about this movie.
Misty was salty as hell, and it was ridiculously cringy to watch. Okay, I pass it off back to Ellie.
Finally, someone else who agreed that part. Jesus
No!
Christ.
Misty was wonderful,
See,
and
I
Misty
agree.
and Ash belong together.
See, I agree with Safi because I never liked Misty.
It was so forced, though. It was so freaking forced that I thought to myself, did the Japanese dub act like this, or was this just
It
thrown
did.
in to
Stay
add
away from
forced
my
in?
angel fire.
It did it, and that's the problem. Like, the English dubs forced so much Ash and Misty shipping. The only canon
Because they
ship
belong together.
is... Oh,
I
God.
ship it, but still, damn. Just, ugh.
What's one thing you didn't like, Ellie?
This is going to be very, very encompassing, but the dropping off of characters when they just weren't needed anymore. Most specifically, the Collector.
Oh, yeah.
But they did it with the boat driver, they did it with Melody's sister and those other people. They just fucking sat there and watched TV while her sister's out there racing through the storm on a boat to rescue other kids. Good job, big sis.
And the Slow King and everything.
And like, did Professor Oak and Ivy need to be there? And Delia. Like, seriously, none of them needed to be there. They weren't even necessary. They were shoehorned. So it's like...
Delia is like the worst mother character ever.
Seriously. But it's like... Dude. These things... It's like... There's a point where if you don't need a character anymore, you do kind of taper them off. Yeah, but... Don't shoehorn and don't drop off characters that were necessary. The Collector wasn't even a character. He was a plot device.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was less of a threat, honestly, more of an annoyance.
He wasn't even given a name. That's how unimportant he was.
Yeah.
Is that the stuff you disliked, Miss ELIYORA?
I'm guessing so.
No, there's other stuff I didn't like, but we have a one per rule, so I'm gonna pass it off to the Shade Princess.
Thank you, Shady Lady. Okay. I'm gonna branch off of what Ellie said, because my main criticism is the Collector. Just the Collector as a character, if you can call him that. The thing is that I, especially after watching...
The inside of my cheek while I was yelling.
Yeah, especially... I mean, one thing I recommend to everyone after they watch this one, because why wouldn't you watch this in completion? I mean, we're such charismatic people. To watch Juario, Sway's, and Linkara's reviews of Pokemon 1 and Pokemon 2000 and Pokemon 3 and stuff. They're great. But I think one of the main things is that it's like the Collector is going to cause worldwide harm so he can collect these legendary animals in... You know, these are characters that can control the elements. You think that they won't be able to escape a cage? And his whole thing of, I started out by collecting a Mew card.
Which you can get if you went to the movies when you were young, when this was playing in theaters. You get a Mew card.
And, you know, and Juario actually pointed it out. That card is not even a rare card in the universe of the Pokemon card game. And even the Japanese version, with the Japanese version, it only gave one extra line about the Collector's backstory, and it still contributed nothing. There is no reason for you to exist, if not just to stir up crap. You are the Pokemon Collector equivalent of a Team Valor loving internet troll.
Hi.
Wreck.
How are you today? Would you like to hear about the great team known as Team Mystic?
Yes, indeed, I would.
But no, well, I'm not part of it, so...
Well, I'm going to also point out that he didn't even learn a lesson. He just picks up his card, is like, and how I'll begin again.
It's like, oh well, we'll see you when you start the end of the world again. What are you gonna do? Capture Arceus in a bag?
Just a burlap sack over Arceus or some crap.
It's like the biggest burlap sack. Made out of Wailord skin.
Are you going to capture Dialga in a freaking jellyfish net? Like, what are you gonna do? Just, But yeah, the Collector is one of the worst antagonists in any of the Pokemon movies. Even the bad Pokemon movies have better antagonists or scenarios. That at least you could give this to some of them. At least the Pokemon movies are based around scenarios happening because of the Pokemon themselves. They make more sense. The only person that would compete with the Collector in the most annoying villain in this whole series is the villain in Pokemon Forever.
Hold up, we ain't there yet.
We're not at that movie yet.
I know, I'm just saying that's the only thing it will compete with, but that's another roundtable for another day, so I'm gonna pass it off to my Bug Brother. Sketchy, what's the thing you don't like about this? Bug Brother!
Yes. Oh my god, you two, not on this stream!
Slay!
Lit!
Okay,
my God.
so...
You two drive me up a freaking wall.
So over the past two panelists, we've been talking about different aspects of the villain. Ellie talked about how in the end he was just thrown away. Key talked about how he's just a poorly written character. And the thing is, Pokemon villains tend to be the weak point in most of the Pokemon movies. Now that I think of it, I don't think there is any, I think the closest a villain has gotten to being memorable in a Pokemon movie would be Annie and Oakley from Heroes, and even then they weren't that good. So I do have to keep in mind that none of the Pokemon villains in the movies have been good. But one aspect that I think I didn't like about it is that this is one of those movies where a villain wasn't really needed. I don't think that we needed him to be an influence on the plot, because there was this whole element of, oh, you're the chosen one, you have to collect these 3 items in order to prevent a disaster from happening. And I feel as though
Dragon Balls.
yeah, I feel as though it had enough going on that the villain did not need to be an influence. I think that the whole natural disaster thing was enough of a motivator to get Ash to do these things. I like putting more of a focus on a whole saving the world, man versus nature thing, like some of the later movies have done, would have been a better idea. This is one of those times where a human villain was not needed. And I think that's the biggest burn from the Collector as a whole, is that not only was he bad, but he was put in a movie where he wasn't needed. And I think that is the biggest problem with him as a whole. So with that, I'm gonna pass it back to Calkos.
All right, I think my biggest problem with the movies is that I mean, subjectively, I really, really like the movie. Subjectively, as a kid's movie, it works. But I am, for anybody that knows me, I am a bit of a movie snob. Like most people, if they name their favorite movie, they're going to name a superhero movie. They're going to name an 80s action flick. They're going to name a Disney movie. My favorite movie is Lawrence of Arabia. I think it is 3 hours and 47 minutes of cinematic brilliance with perfect acting, well-done pacing, fantastic action. A lot of people aren't going to make it past the first 20 minutes because they're going to say it's boring, and they are all indicative Philistines, and they can go screw themselves. I also like movies like Seven Samurai, which is more about camera motion than it is about dialogue. I like The King's Speech, which has no action. It's all talking, and I absolutely love these movies. So, objectively speaking, the Pokemon the Movie 2000 is not that great. The animation is choppy, especially when you compare it to other movies of the time, like the Digimon movie, for example, which had very smooth, very fluid animation. And the voice acting is just as obnoxious as ever in both the Japanese and the English versions of the movie. I give a small pass to the North American dub, if only because it's funnier. But even then, the voice acting can be grating at times, as it always is. It's a 4-kids production. What else do you expect?
Sure.
What is your one thing you dislike? Because you just listed 3.
Well, that's the thing, is that objectively speaking, the whole movie is not good. It's not. When you look at it in an objective manner, in every single area, it's just not good. That is the one thing that I can say about it. That's negative.
All right.
Not a specific area, but if I'm looking at it, the whole thing.
Well, to be fair, with all of us here, we've all tried to find something we didn't like about this movie, and 3 people basically said the villain sucked. So, at this point, there's not much we can really even say that we disliked about it.
From different angles, though.
That's I realize that, but
I just realized something.
What?
The Collector in Pokemon 2000. If you gave him gray hair, he looks like Professor Willow in Pokemon Go.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Wham!
I will
A lot
say,
of teenage girls' fantasies.
for me, I think this is not really more of what I didn't like about the movie. I share pretty much everyone else's thoughts here, but my thing, and this is more of a way that this movie could have been done better, had you taken out the Collector and instead focused on the, I guess, the interactions between Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, because they seem to be the real antagonists throughout all this, just bickering and fighting. I'm just like, why are y'all fighting? Like, you got kidnapped, Moltres saved your ass. Okay, you're gonna fight now? And Articuno's just like, oh hey, I'm gonna join in too, and we're just gonna wreck everything. And I'm thinking to myself,
You didn't tip at the Olive Garden. You didn't give me a ride. You didn't help me move.
Right, it's the pettiest
I think
crap I've ever
Team
seen.
Instinct is just terrible, because Team Valor, Moltres trying to save people, and then Team Instinct just see. This is just me trying to start shit.
No. I've seen.
Beyonce.
I've actually.
Oh,
Toon critics rubbing off on me.
No. Here's the thing. I've seen a lot of people compare like this movie to Pokemon Go. They've said that Valor is Moltres and Instinct is Zapdos, and clearly the superior one is Mystic, which is Articuno. But then I heard somebody say, why don't we all be the Lugia Alliance? And that's the one that gets everybody together. And I'm just like, get this shit out of here for fuck's sake.
I think it's called Team Harmony that they decided to make if.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. This movie could have been better if they focused on the three birds and them actually having a reason to go against each other. If the collector decided to be a jerk and forced them all to fight just because, then I guess that would have been interesting. But the birds are fighting for literally no good reason.
You want to know the best part? When they're turning around to attack someone else, they're just like, "All right, brah, you're cool. Let's smash this."
Right?
Guy.
They all fight against Lugia, and I'm just.
Come here, bitch.
No, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, so Lugia is showing up, so they're all gonna work. They're all three of them band together and beat up Lugia. I'm like, wait a freaking second. So y'all are cool now that you're gonna beat up the one that's supposed to be getting your asses together, the one that's like freaking. All right, I gotta be Mama Lugia or some crap like that, but.
I know exactly. You know what they were acting like? It's like those three sorority girls who get really drunk at a party, and they're yelling at each other, being like, "I hate you! No, I hate you more! You are such a bot!" And then Lugia is like the designated driver to drive them back home, and it's like, "Okay, girls, let's go. You can't tell us what to do. Yeah, you tell them, Stacy. Shut up, Valerie."
Oh my god. But yeah, that's all that I really didn't like about the Pokemon 2000. I mean, it had some good points, but overall, the villains sucked. The birds sucked. Ash was there doing his thing.
No one I'm surprised no one mentioned the side character that we had in this movie, like the one that actually contributed.
Melody was cool. I did like Melody.
Bitch. Oh my god.
Melody was a badass. I'll give her that. And Team Rocket was good in this too. So
they were willing to die to help out. So that's definitely affecting.
And then that gets retconned later on, but you know.
Team Rocket is blasting off again till the next movie.
By the way, they should have died. They should have died on that impact, but I guess not.
Yeah, water.
They thought they were
really
like
should've.
the last thing they say before they hit the water is let's say
goodbye.
Bye. Let's just say we're gonna die. So, as a matter of fact, I think that's the only time that death is brought up in Pokemon like ever, except for the first movie. But it's never brought up. It's just shown.
Pretty much.
It's sort of like
they never actually say the word.
Yeah. Now that I think it's because back in the 90s, like death was something that was very, very taboo, whereas now you have Kung Fu Panda where death is all over the goddamn place.
I don't think death was taboo in the 90s because we had like Lion King.
No, I think
and Beauty and the Beast where they're like kill
no,
the beast,
late
kill the
90s.
beast.
Late 90s.
Oh, late 90s. Okay.
Yeah, saying the word die in a kid's movie is like, it's kind of like, you know how in a PG movie back in those days you were only allowed one curse word, so
Wait,
they
was
always.
Hunchback late 90s though? 'Cause that was 96,
no.
right?
Yeah, that's mid 90s.
But what about Mulan? Mulan was 98.
Mulan had curse words?
No, it didn't have curse words, but it had.
didn't hear
Mulan is the
anything
only
from
Disney
Mulan.
princess with a body count.
Oh, I see what it is. Okay. They're not allowed to say it. They're allowed to show it, but they're not allowed to say it. Okay.
That
never
makes
say die.
sense.
Yes, that makes sense. And then all of a sudden, I think the first one that comes to mind is actually Kung Fu Panda. That was made in 2008. That's the first time I remember in an animation, and you could probably clarify this for me because you guys would know more better than I do, but I think that's the first children's animation that really mentioned it a lot. Like they say the words kill, die, and death all the time in the Kung Fu Panda movies.
Maybe Shrek 1. Maybe Shrek 1. Although they were aiming a little older than they were with the rest of the series, so maybe Shrek 1 doesn't really count. Maybe it's an
I was about to
anomaly.
say, wasn't Shrek originally a teen movie?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, when Chris Farley was around.
Anyway.
I mean,
You mean back when Shrek was good?
We're trailing off a little bit. We kind of already finished the review.
let's-
But, yeah, I think that takes care of the second movie. So, people in the comments below, go ahead and put down what your thoughts are on the second movie, whether you liked it or didn't like it. We will be doing the third movie in a little bit, I think, probably next month or October or whatever.
can I say something?
Sure.
This is something to the audience. I mean, thank you for sticking with us for this podcast, and I want you to remember some wise words.
Oh God, here we go.
no.
Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills. Everybody wants to get there faster. Make their way to the top.
Stop it!
Each day,
time,
we
you
climb.
try.
It gets a little bit better. Each day, we climb.
Okay,
Almost
okay, hold on, stop.
Stop.
I changed what I said before. That is what I hate the most about Pokemon the second movie.
What,
The
that
theme?
takes place in Johto?
No, that. Oh, never mind. That's the third movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I get the movie mixed up.
The opening pop song is what I hate about all the Pokemon movies the worst.
This
Okay.
this one was kind of weak, but
But
anyway.
hey,
Pokemon
Pokemon
World,
2000, Pokemon 2000 got the polka version of the polka rap by Weird Al in the credits.
Yeah,
don't
it
get
wasn't
me
good.
started.
It's the
Give me
low light
another
of his
reason.
career.
Shush you. Go to the corner.
Anyway,
No.
Either way, thank you for joining us for this stream. We'll see you next time when we talk about weird letters and entes. And
Later.
as always, make sure to look both ways before playing Pokemon Go.
Of course.
And don't trespass.
Please don't.
I love that how that has to be an actual thing. And
Don't give someone a reason to stand their ground.
oh yeah, also put down in the comments hashtag what your team is. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Team Mystic for the win.
Hashtag team
Hashtag
Valor.
Team Keyframe.
Hashtag team I don't play Pokemon Go anymore.
I don't play Pokemon Go, but I'm still on Team Mystic, mother. Oh, right, this PG stream. Never mind.
See you all later.
We passed that.
Bye.